welcome to the Las Vegas IT Management Podcast. And today I have the pleasure to be speaking to Monica Coburn. I'm super excited to talk to you with Nevada. She's a Nevada business advisor. Hey, Monica, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yes, it's been a great, getting you here, and we're excited to hear more about you and what you do for as a Nevada business advisor. Monica, can you share a bit about your career journey and what led you to become a business strategy coach?
Yes. So my career, I spent most of my career in banking and lending, and I started my career in Hawaii, which is where I am from. I was born and raised there before moving to Las Vegas. And so I started my career journey straight out of college and worked in international wires. That was my very first position. I absolutely hated it. Didn't like my boss, but it was a great experience for me. And I was always very driven at a very young age and very ambitious. So I stayed in that position for 6 months and just moved up in my career. I was always looking to learn and do different things. And so the majority of my career was spent in business banking and SBA lending. And I was fortunate, I would had opportunities to be hired by internal managers that saw something, and they were the ones that were instrumental in really the growth of my career. And from there, I worked in corporate for over 20 years, and 5 years ago, resigned from my corporate senior management position in banking to launch Nevada Business Advisors. And that's what I do.
Got it. So it all started out in Hawaii. Is that what island?
Oahu.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I just came back from Maui and had an amazing time. So thank
Oh,
you.
nice.
And then how has your experiences in commercial banking and lending influenced your approach to business consulting?
Well, no secret with any business, capital is really important. A business needs capital to grow, they need capital to stay in business. And so having that background really is beneficial and value added for the clients that we work with because we are able to review their financials and really give them advice and guidance on how to prepare their company to ask for capital, how to ask for financing. And if they're not ready, then we help to position them so that they can get the money that they need.
Got it. And so when you say when they're not ready, what are some of the things that someone, a business may need to get some capital?
Great question. So, one of the things is credit. How is their personal credit? So, they may have some credit challenges. And from a banking and lending standpoint, their credit is very important. So, they need to get that cleaned and fixed up if it is not. The other thing is just the cash flow of the business, especially if they are already in business. And we've had a lot of businesses that really have had a tough time, especially since COVID. There are a lot of businesses that are still recovering from that, and some businesses just didn't make it. And so they're always going to look at what has the business done historically. So they're going to look at what were their revenues last year, the year before. Did they turn a profit? And so these are just at a very high level. When I reference not ready for financing, how do they get in a position so they get the capital that they need?
Got it. And how are some of the ways that if a company does not have what you're saying, is it just coming back in the future? Once and like, what can a business do in that
Yeah,
process?
so I would say we're a big advocate, although we are a small business ourselves, and we are an advocate for using the resources that are available to businesses. So if they need help, for example, with getting their credit score, their credit reports in a better condition, there is a nonprofit here locally. Actually, it's a national nonprofit called Operation Hope, and this is part of what they do. This is a free service that they can go and utilize, for example. You also have organizations like Nevada Small Business Development Center, SCORE. Nevada Women's Business Center. So you have all these resources that really can help these businesses to get them where they need to be. But we are here as well. We just charge for our services.
Got it. And a lot of these resources that you're talking about, it's crazy that, maybe that average business owner may not even know that they exist.
Exactly.
Got it. And then as an SBA Thrive business strategy coach, what are some of the most common challenges you see small businesses facing today? And how do you help them overcome these challenges?
That's a great question. In my current position outside of Nevada Business Advisors, I am a business strategy coach for their Sears SBA Thrive program. So we see the same challenges. It's capital, it's employees. So whether it's retaining employees, whether it's hiring employees, the labor force has just become an ongoing issue for businesses. The other thing are just systems and processes. We have a lot of solopreneurs, and these are business owners that they are it. They're wearing multiple hats, they're doing everything on their own. And so getting the help that they need and how do they take that next step, whether it's to hire an employee or whether it's to engage a 1099 or independent contractor that can help them. And so it's being able to help navigate and guide these business owners on really creating an actionable plan how they can do that because it's a lot, especially if you're doing it on your own.
Yes, that's very true. It does help having people, but if that's not a resource, it's wonderful to have you. So thank you. Can you tell us more about your work with Nevada Business Advisors and the type of services you offer to help businesses launch, build, and grow?
Yes. So our business model was really created from my background in banking because most of my clients were business owners. And so we really wanted to provide this one stop solutions provider for businesses. So we are business advisors at the end of the day. So we advise businesses, we guide them, but we also have some core niche services. For example, if they need help getting financing for their business, we can help them creating their loan package, reviewing their business plan. If they are looking to get certified, so they are a woman owned business, minority owned business, veteran owned business, for example, there are certifications available that they can apply for if they're eligible. And what this does is it can give them access to opportunities, whether they're looking to do business with government agencies or large corporations. We also help with navigating government contracting. And what I mean by that is if a business is looking to pursue government contracting opportunities, but they don't know what to do, where to start, we help them in that process of how to get prepared and how to navigate it. So those are some of the niche services that we offer along with strategy. We're coming to the end of a year. It's hard to believe that we're already 2025 is less than 2 months away. And so we help businesses that are planning ahead and looking forward. And what does that look like? So we are accountability partners and we're guidance counselors, so to speak, to help these businesses where they're looking to go.
Got it. And is there a particular, because you did mention government work, is there a particular industry that you work with?
We actually work with a lot of different industries from construction, manufacturing, professional services, food and beverage. So I say really almost every industry. The industries that we don't work with are cannabis. That's just not our expertise or anything really in the adult entertainment industry. Obviously, we're in Las Vegas, so there's a lot of that, but this is specific to things like, strip clubs or, those types of establishments. That's not really in our wheelhouse. But for the most part, most industries we do work with and have experience with.
Got it. And there's still so many businesses, even though we are here in Las Vegas. So there's so many people that you guys can help. Do you have a, and I understand you have like, you pretty much work with everyone, but is there a favorite type of business that you have that you like, you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Ooh. This is hard. Wow. Do I have a favorite? I don't know if I have a favorite. I feel where I really get excited are either one of two situations, either startups who are looking to start a business, they have a business plan, they know what they want, and we can help them launch that new business and then to see them succeed. And we have several success stories like that. The second business is the business that they are stagnant, their sales are not moving, nothing's happening, and we can come in and actually give them a fresh perspective, a new pair of eyes, and really give them an outsider's point of view. And it's a client that takes our guidance and our advice, and then they can see what their business is capable of being with just some extra help. So, uh, those are the 2 scenarios I feel that are my favorites because we can see the impact that it makes.
Got it, and I'm sure those are the people that actually put what you're putting into place into action.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then you've also founded the Girls Rock Productions and the Women in Business Summit. What inspired you to create these platforms and what impact have they had on women entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so when we look at women entrepreneurs, the majority of them are solopreneurs. At last count, it's like 85% of women-owned businesses are in business for themselves and they don't have any support system around them. And what that means is they're not able to grow and scale like with other business owners. And so the Women in Business Summit was really created to as a annual event. We haven't done it in the last 3 years, but it's coming back next year. And it was a full day event where we brought in speakers, we had breakout sessions, and really helping women who are already in business how to get to that next level, or women who are looking to start a business or may have a side hustle, but they're working a full-time job, right? So it's about providing education, empowerment, collaboration. Girls Rock Productions was really meant to be a production company that would actually host women events as well as events for our young girls who are have a great idea and want to do something about it. So, that's one of my passion projects is really helping women in our community who want to be able to be successful entrepreneurs.
Got it. And I'm right there with you, Monica. So I love that.
Thank
And you
you.
did mention 85%. So when you say 85%, are you saying 85% of women that become entrepreneurs are solopreneurs? Is that kind of what I heard?
Correct.
Got it. And why? Why do you think that it is that way?
So, a few things. I feel ever since COVID, and it's not only what I feel, studies, there's been reports on it. A lot of women are just not wanting to return to their jobs. They were let go. They were doing multiple positions as one person. And so there's been this big shift. And so a lot of women have decided, you know what, I'm going to start my own business. So some of them have started as a side hustle and some of them have just decided not to return to the workforce and to start their business full time. And so, just from that large number of 85% is, they are doing on their own. A lot of them are single moms, right? Or they're young, they're single, they're deciding, this is something I want to do. I want to pursue my dream. I want to pursue my project. And really, the only person holding me back is myself. And so, they go and do it, and what we find is a lot of times they don't realize all that it takes to start a business, so many of them don't even make it past the first year, and that's pretty common for businesses in general, but I feel that's what's really contributed to this growth in women starting their businesses, and they just tend to do it on their own initially.
Got it. No, that makes sense. And then what advice would you give these women in business who are currently struggling to find their footing or facing growth challenges?
Number 1 is to find your support system. People often refer to that as tribe, find your community. So I would say find that. Use the free resources that are out there and available to you. So I mentioned a few of them before, like a SCORE, the Nevada Women's Business Center. Obviously, we're here in Las Vegas, but these are resources that are national, right? So no matter where you are, these resources are there for you. You also have the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration. If you go to their website, sba.gov, they have a lot of great videos and webinars, and all of this is free to you. So I would say use the resources and learn all that you can. SCORE is another great one. They have volunteer advisors that are there, and some of them are industry experts. So if you're looking to start a marketing company, right, or a web designer, a lot of times they have volunteers on staff. That is their specialty. So that's what I would say. And if I can close with this, there are people that are going to be around you that are going to say, that's the worst idea ever, or don't do this, right? If you're not sure, test your business idea and test your business concept. Don't leave your full-time paying job to see if this is going to work. Do it part-time. Start it as a side hustle and see how that grows.
Got it, and I agree with you 100%. And I think that's very, very important for you not to just, for you, as you said, start, side hustle. In your opinion, what are some of the critical elements that a business needs to scale successfully?
Number 1, I'm a believer in having a business plan. So whether you call it a business plan or an action plan or a strategy plan, it serves as your roadmap, and it's something that can change as your business changes. So, at least having something in writing, so it gives you some type of guidance. Number 2 is, do you have the foundation? Meaning, do you have the right systems in place? Technology is huge, right? So, are you using platforms and software that can help your business? Because if you're looking to grow and scale, the end result is more business, more revenues, but you also need to have those puzzle pieces in place. Number 3 is capital and making sure that you have the capital that you need in order to grow and scale. And so whether that's bootstrapping, whether that's your own cash flow as a company, but I'm a believer in having a security blanket. So using other people's money, right? OPP. So whether that is getting a working capital line of credit or getting a business loan, depending on what you're using those funds for. So that's what I would say.
Got it, that makes sense. And then what are some of the most common issues that keep owners up at night, and how do you coach them to navigate these challenges effectively?
Number one is, can they meet payroll? Can they meet payroll for the week or the next week? And again, that goes back to capital because there's a difference between revenue and there's a difference between profitability. And where we see businesses, especially if they're a solopreneur and they're doing everything, they're not keeping an eye on their books. They're not keeping an eye on the money, right? And so until it's time to actually pay for their expenses, do they realize there's a problem? So really being able to think ahead and look forward versus week to week. And a lot of small businesses are more reactive than proactive from my experience and just working with a lot of businesses. And so being able to have them look at it from a bigger picture, a bigger perspective, so that they can prepare if they have that new opportunity, that new contract, what does that look like? Do they have the people in place to help them? With getting that contract done. So there's just a lot of moving parts. And so, as a business strategy coach, for example, for the Thrive program, it's really looking at their current situation and what are ways that they see as a business owner that they can improve. And many times business owners are in their own way and they can't see past the forest, so to speak. And so it is getting that outsider's perspective or another vantage point than from what they can see.
Got it. And so you did mention a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, possibly, kind of not, maybe they're looking to do something with their books or like how would you recommend them to get started with keeping track of their budgeting and making sure that they're making a profit?
Yeah, great question. So if they're in business by themselves, there's some great tools. Number one, it can be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet. Number two is if you use online banking, depending on where you bank at, a lot of these online banking platforms can sync in with different accounting softwares. You also have Wave. Wave is an app that you can track your finances. The most important thing is that you're doing something versus nothing. So start somewhere. Ideally, you want to get a bookkeeper, right? It's not someone you have to hire and have full time, but someone that helps you with your books, even on call basis. Maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a quarter. I wouldn't advise quarterly. I would prefer monthly, but those are just some tips just to get things in a better situation, because especially when you go and look for financing, one of the documents that they're going to ask for is they're going to want to see your financial statements. They're going to want to see your tax returns. So having your books in order and knowing where you stand financially is really, really important as a business owner. That way you can make the right decisions.
No, that this is true. And so when it comes to how do you help business owners identify whether they have the right team in place to represent their brand efficiently?
So I like having an org chart, even if they're a solopreneur, because it helps to identify where their needs are, right? So as a business, you have a need for marketing, right? So who's doing your marketing? You're going to have a need for IT in some regards. So whether it's a backup server, whether it's having, someone that can look at your cybersecurity, which is very important, especially in today's world, whether it's someone that can help on the HR side as you look to hire someone. Having that expertise in place is really important. What I often see, especially for businesses that are trying to do it on their own, or even for businesses that have employees, but they may not be skilled in HR or skilled in IT or skilled in bookkeeping, they're having them do this, but there may be regulations, there may be compliance, there may be, filings that they're not doing. And so being able to identify who are the key team members in my company that I need in order to take my business to the next level is
Got it.
really
And
important.
I just want to make sure I get a full understanding of what you're saying. Pretty much you're saying to before you hire this person to write out a job description. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Got it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure I understood exactly what you said.
Well, you know what, Shayta, you bring up a good point, because a lot of businesses, when they look to hire someone, they don't even have a job description, right? And so it's so important to have one. And if you don't know how to create one, use AI. Use AI as a tool just to give you at least some guidance on what that would look like. But at the end of the day, you have to know what you're looking for, right? What kind of skills does that person need that can help to support you?
Got it. Now, I've personally used AI more of a as a starting place, which is awesome. uh,
Yes.
and then how do we do mention we bring up AI, and the last week I actually talked to someone about AI. But how do you see technology impacting small businesses today, and what role does it play in your business development strategies?
Technology will not go away. So so you either need to embrace it and use it to your advantage, or you'll get left behind. I mean, that's just, we're in a world that's ever changing. And, I'll use myself as an example in our business. I mean, we use AI as a tool. We don't rely on it solely because it's not always accurate, but it is important, and it is an important tool to help grow your business and to make things more efficient and get things done easier. And what was your second part of your question?
I had asked, what role does it play in your business development strategy?
What role does technology play in the business development? I would say just more as far as processes and systems. That's something that a lot of small businesses don't have in place, right? A lot of them have it up here, but they don't have anything that's really formalized. And so we use that as actually one of our services. We do a business process review. And what that helps us with the business owner identify is what are their processes and if they have any. And if they don't have any, then we're putting in some steps that they can create some.
Got it. That makes sense. And is there, you did mention some of the technology that you use, like AI. Is there any other tools, possibly technology tools or platforms you recommend for businesses to manage? You did mention cash flow, but to manage cash flow, employees, and client interactions more efficiently?
Yes, so it's having a CRM tool, so customer relationship management tool where you can track, who your clients are, who your prospects are, where are you in that customer journey. So, there's a lot of great CRM platforms out there. There are some that are at low cost, some are more expensive. So, you have Monday, you have Asana, you have 17 Hats. I mean, there are so many tools out there. My big piece of advice is to try these. Don't go and invest money into a software or a platform unless you feel it's something that you can use, if you have a team that your team can use, because it can get expensive. And all of them have pros and cons to each. And so I would say if you don't have one in place, at least start with something that's simple enough where you can track and have some type of way to find out what are your leads? Where are they in that process? So, customer relationship management tool, big advocate for that. You have accounting software like QuickBooks is a big one, right? There are bookkeepers and accountants that use that primarily. It's a common one for small businesses, but there are a lot of other ones out there. I mentioned Wave. That's just an app that's great for solopreneurs, but not one that I would recommend for small businesses as you grow. And then I know we have a lot of gig, right? We have a lot of independent contractors. They are business owners, so they should be tracking their revenues and their expenses separately from what they do personally. We didn't even get into that, but that's really important as well. That way they're able to identify truly how much they're generating for their business and how much their monthly expenses are. So that's just some ideas.
Got it, and that's most important.
Yes.
Uh, you did mention that with the Women's in Business Summit, that it's been about 3 years, but what are your goals for the Women in Business Summit and Girls Rock Productions over the next few years?
It's definitely obviously it's coming back, but it's definitely to grow that. What we find are businesses in general, but especially our women and business owners, they really have this strong need and desire to not only learn, but to connect with other women business owners. Women by nature, were just better relationship builders and we're natural nurturers and we are part of when we're part of a community, there's more connection means more collaboration means better relationships in business and that's really important. So the goal is to continue to grow that summit. When we had our very first one, I'll share this with you, we had it the year after COVID. We had almost 200 women in attendance, and we had speakers like Nikki Fargas, who's the president of the Las Vegas Aces. This is right when the Aces were coming and they were starting, and she was amazing. And so it's women coming together and sharing their stories is really important. And because we all have a story and we all can learn from each other. And so long answer to your question is being able to grow this, continue to grow it here in Las Vegas, and continue to grow it and expand it into other markets would be the ultimate goal.
Got it, and as a woman myself, I just love that. And then what envision as the biggest opportunities and threats do you see for small businesses in Nevada for the in the coming years?
Well, Nevada, and it was just recently, we were listed number one as far as doing business. You know, we were listed number one as the best state to do business in for a number of reasons. So I feel there's a lot of opportunities, no matter where we are in the state, whether you're in southern, central, northern, western Nevada. It's how you position your business to take advantage of those opportunities. We have heavy tourism. We have a lot of technology that's moving into our state, you know, with companies moving from California, especially, as well as other markets. We also have this population of individuals that are moving here because they see everything that's happening in our state, right? There's always something happening in Las Vegas, but it's a very different market than Reno, for example. And so, how can you capitalize on that? So, the opportunities are there. It's how can you position yourself to take advantage of that? The threats are going to be things that you just have no control over, that we have no control over. These are those external factors. Big day tomorrow, right? Election day. And so the presidential election, whoever holds that office, I think is going to be significant to our small businesses and what laws and legislations come as a result of that. We also have economic downturns, right? Those are things that we have no control over. And so it's really creating a plan if something were to happen where you have no control over, what does that look like? And a lot of businesses don't have that in place. Again, it's week to week, it's month to month. So being able to really think through and think ahead of what that looks like. We're going to have threats no matter what. It's just what can we do to prepare for it? This could be cybersecurity, right? Making sure that your systems are in check. You've got the right, you know, scanning virus tools, so to speak. As far as employees, as far as business, do you have an emergency disaster plan? So we can spend at least another 2 hours on, you know, that topic by itself, but you can only control what you control. What you can control is what I say.
Got it. No, that's very, very true. And when it comes to lastly, what personal mantra or philosophy drives your work as a business advisor and leader?
There are 5. So number 1 is being customer centric. We're our client is important to us. So it's listening to what their needs are and being able to come up with solutions for them. And number 2 is never stop learning. You know, I'm always wanting to learn. We can never stop learning, no matter who you are, what you do. Knowledge is power, as they say. Number 3, we do everything with the highest integrity. I feel that's really important, especially in this environment that we live in. And Las Vegas is also a very small town, so you never want to be anything but. We always do it with vision and with purpose. There's always going to be a purpose behind why we do something. And last, and this is really important, is just social responsibility. We hear that a lot, but what does that mean? I mean, to us as a company, it means what are we doing to give back to our business community? And so we've done things like webinars where we do them at no cost. You know, we provide initial consultations for free. We volunteer. You know, personally, I serve on several boards. So the social responsibility piece is big, and I think if every business, gave back, no matter what that looked like, just think of how better our community, how better our state, how better this country, and how better the world would be.
Got it. If someone's looking to reach out to you, Monica, how do they do so?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, so they can find me there. NevadaBusinessAdvisors.com is our website. Our email is info@NevadaBusinessAdvisors.com. And so those are the ways they can connect with us, and then our phone number is 702-805-8900, and that is our Las Vegas office. We do have an office in Reno, but I'm embarrassed to say I don't know that number by heart yet.
Got it. No worries. Monica, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I would just like to say that to all of you who are looking to start a business, all of you that are in business, you are the drivers of this economy. You hear that. You're the job creators, you're the visionaries, you're the doers, you're the risk takers. And November is National Entrepreneurship Month. So I want to wish all of you entrepreneurs happy National Entrepreneurship Month. For our veterans, happy Veterans Day. Next week is also Veteran Small Business Week. And last but not least, in this season of Thanksgiving, I want to say thank you to you, Shaytoya, for having me on your podcast this morning. And so let's keep doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Monica.